Alrighty, so week 16. I know it may be a little surreal that we're in week 16, but we are. And I'm running a little late today getting attendance post out. The good news, you only have 2 items due this week. The challenging news may be that the classwork is a little bit of an extended one, meaning that it is going to take some effort to get it done. But I think it's well worth the time and you're going to put into it. So if you haven't taken a look, you're going to be building a website on a service called Github with an IO extension. What I'm talking about here is the website URL. But this URL is telling you what service you're using, which is GitHub. But the most important thing about this is really putting the site together. So in here, there's a couple of videos to walk you through this. One, because I realized after the fact, okay, and this is the after the fact, and this is the original one, is that you couldn't do the photo, and what I mean by the photo is here. And I'm just going to drop into it and inspect. So if you don't know what that is, you actually learn about that in the video. But this is a link to my photo, and the photo needs to come from Google Photos. In this video I talk about you can use Google Drive, but turns out you can't. Google Drive won't allow you to do that kind of sharing. I found out later about it. But everything else in this file should be, this video is fine and seems to work for students. It's just that it does take a little time, but I think the payoff is good because we're taking the stuff that you've learned with HTML and CSS, not with JavaScript, but with HTML and CSS, and we're giving you a project to cultivate or integrate those concepts for you. So check that out. Again, because there's only one item, this is why I've typically waited until this week to do it. I have been considering kind of breaking this into 2 and covering part of it when we're first doing the finishing the HTML and CSS. But so anyway, that's what is on tap for this week, and then the lab test. So I've been trying to give a heads up about this since the beginning of the semester, especially for you students that are online and don't have access to Access, if that can be redundantly said. But if you don't, you want to definitely find a lab somewhere on campus that has it, or come in and see me this week. So do know, right, that I'm in class on Tuesday, Thursday from 11 to 12:50. And then on Wednesday, I'm in the lab from 5 p.m. to about 9 p.m. So if you want to know more about that, let me know. Otherwise, you need to just make sure you have this in there. And so that's what's on tap. I do leave. I'll be heading out of town, as I've been saying. I leave Friday after I grade and post the week 17 attendance, the last post for attendance. So just know that that's going to be the last one that I do. And that's it. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I'm looking forward to my week at Google. I'll try to post some maybe photos into chat. Oh, one last thing I would say, a couple students had issue with my IT lab, and the issue was that they just needed to clear out their cache. So if you've ever done this, you can go into more tools, and this is in Chrome, but every browser has something like this. And if you clear your browsing data, that will typically solve, I think, several issues in my IT lab if you're just encountering not being able to get in. So just know that that's true. And do make sure when you submit the Access lab test, you're actually submitting a score and not the actual database file, because you're submitting the database file that you're working on into my IT lab for grading, and then you're submitting the score to me through this link. Okay. And as I've said before, there is a video here to help you do that, right? And so here's the instruction for how to submit the grade, which is no different than any of your My IT Lab reporting before now. All right, have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.